Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Auto Repair for Dummies, 2nd edition, by Deanna Sclar, narrated by Wendy Tremont King. Publisher's note: this audiobook refers to figures included in the print and e-book editions of the book. Limit of liability, disclaimer of warranty. The publisher and the author make no representations or warranties with respect to the accuracy or completeness of the contents of this work, and specifically disclaim all warranties, including without limitation, warranties of fitness for a particular purpose. No warranty may be created or extended by sales or promotional materials. The advice and strategies contained herein may not be suitable for every situation. This work is sold with the understanding that the publisher is not engaged in rendering legal, accounting, or other professional services. If professional assistance is required, the services of a competent professional person should be sought. Neither the publisher nor the author shall be liable for damages arising herefrom. The fact that an organization or website is referred to in this work as a citation and/or a potential source of further information does not mean that the author or the publisher endorses the information the organization or website may provide, or recommendations it may make. Further, readers should be aware that Internet websites listed in this work may have changed or disappeared between when this work was written and when it is read. What's so special about Auto Repair for Dummies, 2nd edition? This book is designed for people who think that anything technical will make their brains shut like garage doors, who sincerely care about how their vehicles affect the environment, and although they believe they can't work on their cars themselves and wouldn't like it if they could, are willing to give it a try. How do I know that it will work for these reluctant readers? Because it's written by a genuine certified ex-dummy who has found that, despite total ignorance and a complete lack of manual dexterity, getting personally involved with a vehicle is enjoyable, rewarding, and easy. Believe me, if I can do it, so can you. It is not written for confirmed do-it-yourselfers. It is for you if you have never held a wrench. You are positive that in your case, manual labor can lead only to disaster. You haven't the vaguest idea of how a car works. You have failed shop or arts and crafts. You believe that if you do something wrong, your car will blow up. To enjoy this book, it would help if you don't believe that working on your vehicle can possibly be fun, but you're willing to give it a try for any reason whatsoever. You are sincerely tired of being ripped off because of your own ignorance. Why is that enjoyable? Because you will be delighted to find cars run on principles that are as easy to understand as common sense. You can save a tremendous amount of money, extend the life of your vehicle, save on fuel, and do your bit for the environment if you know more about your car. Most of the devices on your vehicle will not hurt you unless you really go out of your way to hurt yourself. Here's how Auto Repair for Dummies accomplishes these miracles. It starts from scratch. It even shows you what a screwdriver looks like. It explains each system in simple terms before you get to work on it. It provides step-by-step instructions for even the simplest tasks. It tells you exactly what you need and how to know if you've been given the wrong part, the wrong diagnosis, or an outrageous estimate. It tells you the truth about what makes your vehicle go and how and why as well. How the car you drive, how you drive it and maintain it, and how you recycle or dispose of used parts and toxic fluids affect fuel economy and global warming. The easy work involved in keeping your vehicle well maintained and running efficiently, and how to tell what's wrong if trouble strikes. How 15 minutes of preventive medicine avoids breakdowns. Whether you can handle a problem yourself and how to get it fixed at a fair price if you can't. how to extend the life of your vehicle, keep it clean and healthy, and repair the minor dents and dings it acquires on the road. These features will make life even easier. A practical glossary of automotive terms so that you can refresh your memory if you've forgotten what something means. A maintenance record so you can keep track of what you've done and when you did it. A specifications record for the data you need to buy the right parts. Tons of illustrations that show you how things look and where they are. This revised edition also tells you about alternatively fueled vehicles and other innovations, so you can choose a safe and efficient vehicle when Old Faithful finally heads for the used car lot in the sky. You have a few things to supply, too. You have to buy the book and read it. You have to try to do one small, easy job yourself. You can pick the job. There are fringe benefits, too. Your vehicle will run better and live longer. Automotive technicians will respect you. You'll have more money to spend on other things. You'll no longer be a dummy. Introduction. For many people, getting a driver's license is an event that runs second only to getting a diploma or a marriage license. Most of us succeed in passing the test and hop happily into our vehicles, headed for the freedom of the open road. Unfortunately, most of us don't know the first thing about the machines we're licensed to drive, and this can turn a ticket to freedom into a ticket to trouble. I'm not necessarily talking about physical danger. State motor vehicle bureaus have made fairly sure that before we can get a driver's license, we know how to drive defensively and can handle a vehicle under poor driving conditions. What I'm referring to is the kind of trouble that comes from depending on other people to care for and repair our vehicles. If you're like most people, you probably tend to drive around until something goes wrong, and then incur the expense of replacing worn and burned-out parts, or the entire vehicle, when low-cost, regular maintenance could have kept your wheels turning for a long time. Whether you're trying to cut expenses, are tired of being patronized, or have just fallen in love with your first car, this book tells you how your vehicle works, what it needs in the way of tender, loving care, how to reduce its impact on the environment, and how to keep from getting ripped off if you have to entrust repairs to someone else. By handling the simple maintenance and being able to diagnose trouble and perform the less complex repairs yourself, you'll earn the respect of your family, your mechanic, and your car, and you'll feel pretty good about it. About this book. This new edition is about much more than auto repair. In this book, I introduce you to the wonders of the internal combustion engine, and to the even more wondrous alternative fuels and alternatively fueled vehicles that reduce dependence on the rapidly dwindling supply of fossil fuel and will play a huge role in the battle against global warming that threatens the future of the planet. I'm proud to say that this edition of Auto Repair for Dummies is the first green automotive guide that focuses on how the vehicles you choose, the way you maintain them, and how you recycle used oil, parts you've replaced, and other waste products directly affects the environment. The book starts off with the basics every driver should know, from how to get the hood open and fill up the fuel, to using a jack and changing a tire safely. You learn the basic safety rules to follow when dealing with your vehicle, and how to take anything apart and reassemble it without losing anything, including your mind. After identifying the basic tools you may need, I gently lead you into an easy preventive maintenance checkup that you can do to extend the life of your vehicle and keep it from breaking down on the road. Next, there's a quick overview of how your vehicle's principal systems work together to start it, operate it efficiently on the road, and bring it safely to a stop. After you have a general idea of how things work, we explore each system part by part and what needs to be done to maintain it, troubleshoot it, and do minor repairs yourself. Don't worry about getting in over your head. If a repair can get you into trouble if you attempt to do it yourself, I tell you how to be sure the work is done properly by a professional at a fair price. So don't chicken out on me. Start with the easy stuff, and then take on the more challenging tasks. How I became intimately involved with my car, and why you should too. Before I moved to California, I was an ordinary urban cliff dweller. I had only a nodding acquaintance with cars. Ours was locked up in a garage, and I used subways, buses, and taxis. All the maintenance on our car was done by the garage that housed it. When we moved to California, my enthusiasm for a life in the sun was considerably dampened by the knowledge that this would also include a life on the freeways. But the first time I took the family car to the supermarket myself, I had an epiphany in the parking lot. I could drive anywhere I wanted to, instead of just being driven home. It wasn't long before I was looking for a car of my own. The best I could do was a second-hand Mustang with more than 70,000 miles on it. A friend of mine checked out the car and pronounced it drivable. He said that it might need a little work. We took it to a reliable mechanic who checked it over, tuned it up, and told me that it was a classic. Thus reassured, I drove the car to the Department of Motor Vehicles to register it. I parked the car, turned off the ignition, locked it, and found that the car was singing. A bit puzzled, I rechecked the ignition and the radio, but everything was truly shut off. And still the car sang. By the time I returned, all was quiet. But that night, when I took the family out to dinner, old Tweety Bird began to sing again. After several weeks of expensive and unsuccessful repairs, I found out that all she had needed was an inexpensive radiator cap. To my amazement, the shop was unwilling to refund the money I'd spent on all the other stuff they'd tried. I realized that it would be impossible to communicate with Tweety properly if I didn't know anything about her, and the repair bills were going to send both of us down the drain. So I conned a friend of mine into taking an auto shop class with me at a local adult ed center. Instead of a bewildering array of weird objects and miles of hoses that threatened to blow up if I turned a screw in the wrong direction, I soon found that a car was just a series of simple mechanisms linked together, and that vehicles are very good about sending out signals, telling you clearly what's wrong, if you know how to hear, see, smell, or feel them. Before long, it was no longer enough to be able to communicate with a mechanic. I wanted to be the mechanic myself whenever possible. Not only did I save money, but Tweety began running better, and I found that not only was I saving money and fuel, I was having fun. Today, vehicles are more complex because computers control many systems, and even professional mechanics need specialized equipment to deal with them. The upside is that these vehicles usually need fewer repairs, and there are much greater intervals between basic maintenance tasks, most of which are still easily done yourself. The same goes for making a variety of minor repairs and adjustments. Unlike professional mechanics, when you do the troubleshooting, that's car speak for diagnosing a problem by analyzing the symptoms, you can try the cheaper solutions first. For example, if your engine has been overheating constantly, you check the radiator cap and the coolant level. Look for leaks in the hoses and check the thermostat before paying for a new water pump. If it's the cap, a hose, or the thermostat, you may be able to easily replace it yourself, and the money you'll save is well worth the effort. If it finally comes down to changing the water pump, you can ask the mechanic about installing a good rebuilt pump instead of an expensive new one. With this book as your guide to how cars work, you may discover that your vehicle stops being a mystery and begins to be fun to hang around with. When you realize that a vehicle exhibits most of the symptoms of life, it's self-propelled, reacts to outside stimuli, consumes fuel and discharges wastes, and even manages to sing a little tune now and then, it's really hard not to respond to it as though it were another living thing. How I picture you. In order to make this book as relevant, readable, and enjoyable as possible, I envision it as a friendly conversation with the kind of person I feel would want to read it. Here's my mental portrait of my readers. You're intelligent and may know a great deal about a lot of things: law, business, literature, medicine, and other non-automotive subjects. But you need some help when it comes to cars. You're tired of living as a closet dummy who nods and smiles at the incomprehensible mutterings of your mechanic, only to end up shelling out money for repairs that you neither fully understand nor always need. You've decided that it simply isn't worth the extra money to have other people do things for you that you can do yourself. You're tired of other people assuming, especially if you're a teenager, a senior, or a woman, that you aren't capable of handling repairs yourself. You want to keep a good vehicle in good condition without paying dearly to have someone else do the simple maintenance, or you want to keep your old heap running just a little longer without spending a lot of money on it. You want to maintain your vehicle without devoting every weekend, weeknight, and spare lunch hour to poring over the intricacies, details, and mysteries of the internal combustion engine. You've realized, I hope, that a vehicle that runs inefficiently because it's poorly maintained or is running on fossil fuel pollutes the environment, and you want to do something to turn that around. How this book is organized. Basically, this book covers everything you need to know to understand, care for, maintain, and troubleshoot your vehicle, or choose a new, more efficient, and safer one. You'll be relieved to know that I explain everything in everyday terms, with no jargon, no unnecessary technical details, and lots of simple illustrations. To help you find information easily, this book is divided into 7 parts, each containing chapters that deal with a particular topic. Because the key to doing any job is to understand what you're working on and how it functions, I strongly recommend that you read the chapter that deals with the system you want to work on before you head for the chapter that tells you how to do a specific job. The following sections describe the information that you can find in each part. Part 1. Getting to know your vehicle. If you want the basics, this is the part for you. I cover things that everyone who drives should know, like how to decide whether you want to do a job yourself, how to get the hood open, how to use a jack and change a tire, and how to take anything apart and put it back together again. A monthly under-the-hood check that can prevent 70% of highway breakdowns will transform you from an I-can't-do-it-myselfer into a hands-on mechanic. I also describe the tools that you'll need to borrow or buy if you plan to do regular maintenance and simple repairs. Finally, a quick and simple run-through of how basic automotive systems work together gives you the confidence to explore further, because what was once a mystery is now familiar territory. Part 2. Powering up with air, fuel, and fire. This part provides a closer look at the electrical and fuel systems in vehicles with internal combustion engines, and tells you how to do simple jobs related to each one. If you own or would like to own an alternatively fueled vehicle, you'll find information on how diesel, hybrid, multi-fuel, natural gas, and hydrogen vehicles work, descriptions of a variety of alternative fuels, and the advantages and disadvantages of each. Part 3. Staying cool and in control. This part deals with the cooling system, how oil benefits your vehicle, and how the brake system works. you find out how to prevent and deal with chronic overheating, add and change coolant, find and repair leaks, change your oil, check and maintain your brakes, pack wheel bearings, and do a variety of other vital tasks. Part 4. Smoothing the ride. Steering and suspension, tires and transmissions. How comfortably and efficiently a vehicle operates is hugely influenced by the systems covered in this part of the book. This part tells you how all these systems operate and shows you how to choose the right tires, read the wealth of information on the sidewalls and the treads to prevent tires from wearing out prematurely, about balancing and alignment, and how to fill tires with the proper amount of air. The chapters on transmissions explain how they work, how to troubleshoot symptoms, and how to obtain the best deal on repairs, along with driving techniques that will extend the life of your transmission. Part 5. Staying safe and dealing with emergencies. This part helps you deal with problems that may occur while you're away from home. It describes a variety of new safety systems that help children ride comfortably and securely, prevent accidents and injuries, increase traction and stability, avoid rollovers, and even call for help without your assistance when your car is disabled or stolen. It shows you how to decipher such symptoms as weird noises, smoke, smells, and leaks to determine what's wrong. I also share what to do to get off the road safely, jump a start, and cool things down if your car overheats in traffic. If a job is just too hairy to deal with yourself, I tell you how to find a reliable service facility and establish a good relationship with it. Describe a problem so a mechanic can diagnose it swiftly and accurately. Decipher a mechanic's invoice, and get satisfaction on complaints if, despite your best efforts, you run into problems with anything you buy. Part 6. Helping your vehicle look its best. Because keeping a vehicle clean inside and out can extend its life and value. In this part, I cover washing and waxing the body, tidying up under the hood, cleaning the interior, and removing stains from fabric, carpeting, windows, and other surfaces. If your vehicle has suffered minor damage, I show you how to repair small dings, dents, and rust spots, touch up paint, and patch or install weather stripping instead of paying big bucks for body shops to do it. If major work needs to be done, I tell you how to choose the right type of parts and how to evaluate body shops and get the best deal and highest quality work from them. Part 7. The part of tens. This part can save you money, time, and sanity. It lists the most important preventive maintenance you can do to keep your vehicle in good condition and offers ecological tips for saving fuel. Appendix. I include a handy appendix at the back of this book, the Dictionary of Acronyms and the Practical Glossary, not only to tell you what automotive terms mean, but give you advice about them as well. Icons used in this book. To make this book easier to read and simpler to use, I include some icons that can help you find and fathom key ideas and information. You will hear these icons verbalized in this audiobook. Tip. This icon points to suggestions or hints that can make a task easier, save you money, help you avoid hassles, and otherwise make your life easier. Warning. This icon appears next to information you want to watch out for because it is attempting to keep you from something dangerous or that could cost you a lot of money. It is designed to help you achieve success in a particular situation. Ecologic. This icon was specially created for this book to alert you to the relationship between a piece of information and its impact on the environment. The information will help you save fuel, cut air pollution, recycle parts, and dispose of toxic substances safely. Remember, this icon indicates information that you may have encountered elsewhere in the book and need to take into consideration and keep in mind. Technical stuff. This icon appears beside technical information that, although interesting, at least to me, you can skip without risking anything important. True story. This icon appears beside real-life stories that provide a relaxing respite from serious subjects and demonstrate what you should or should not do to avoid major trouble or to triumph in difficult situations. Where to go from here? You can use this book any way you want to. You can read it from cover to cover or jump from section to section as the mood strikes you. No matter how you use the book, I recommend that you tuck it into your trunk compartment to keep it handy when it's time for maintenance or if you need to figure out what's gone wrong on the road. If this book turns you on to automotive systems and repair, then by all means, extend your knowledge by reading more and more sophisticated literature on your favorite automotive topics. But there's no substitute for hands-on experience. You won't be able to realize any of your goals unless you stop procrastinating and start working. If you're feeling timid about actually touching your vehicle's inner parts, try doing something simple, like checking the oil dipstick or changing the air filter. I hope that you find it as exhilarating as I did, and I know that your car will love you for it. May you and your vehicle have a long and happy life together. Beyond the book. In addition to what you're reading right now, this book comes with a free Access Anywhere cheat sheet. To get this cheat sheet, go to dummies.com and search for Auto Repair for Dummies, 2nd edition for Dummies cheat sheet by using the search box. Part 1. Getting to know your vehicle. In this part, ever seen someone try to figure out how to open a can of sardines? They have the key in one hand, the can in the other, and they poke, prod, and pry until they finally decide that saltines alone are fine. If you've ever tried to open the hood of your vehicle or jack it up without the benefit of prior experience, or paying attention when someone else did it, you may feel as confused as the sardine lovers seem. That's why this part covers the things every driver should be able to do, safety tips that everyone who works on cars should know, and the tools you can use to get your vehicle running smoothly again. You find out how to buy the right auto part on your first trip to the store, and how to do a monthly under-the-hood check that can prevent breakdowns on the road by 70%. Finally, I take a quick trip through all the automotive systems involved in operating your vehicle to show you what each one does, how it does it, and how they relate to one another. Chapter 1. Things Every Driver Should Know. In this chapter, knowing when to do it yourself, paying attention to safety, filling the tank yourself, getting under the hood, taking things apart and putting them back together again, jacking up a vehicle and changing a tire safely, getting into your car when you lock yourself out. If you're not particularly mechanically inclined, you may watch those who are with admiration, amazement, and exasperation, because they have something you don't, an understanding of how things work and how things fit together. When they take something apart, they can reassemble it the way it was. When they say that they want to take a look under the hood, they can actually get the darn thing open. And when they need to change a flat, they don't spend 10 minutes trying to figure out which end of the jack is up. The good news is that you don't have to be born with a wrench in your hand to know how to fix things, even things as seemingly complicated as a car. I know, I've been there. The introduction tells you all about my automotive epiphany. Of course, the simplest tasks can sometimes be the biggest hurdles to overcome. After all, if you can't even figure out how to open the hood, how can you check the oil or the coolant level? That's why I begin this book with the basics. Simple jobs that you'll need to do again and again, like opening the hood, jacking up a car, and changing a tire.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?